Hey, Pastor Steve Waldron here, New Life Pentecostal Church, Albany, Georgia. You know, I was just thinking the other day, I was like, you know what would be great to have in the United States of America, and kind of used to have this, would be discussion societies or even debate societies in every community, every city in the United States of America, where people could just get together and discuss in a very kind and nice way, not in an aggressive way, the different thoughts and ideas that they've got. And I think what that would do, that would kind of eliminate the liberal bias or even conservative bias in some parts of the news, but liberal bias. It would kind of circumnavigate a lot of social media. You know, I know social media is so easy to use and that type thing. But I mean, if you just had some kind of discussion society that once a week or once a month, if you had an idea or have an agenda that different people every week set a different agenda that everybody that wants to, they know they come to the city hall and you discuss certain ideas. And because what happens now, I appreciated Matt Drudge a couple years ago talked about the ghettoization of the internet, that people just tend to have confirmation bias, that if you believe a certain thing is true, you just tend to get news, watch YouTube videos that confirm that already pre-existing bias. I appreciated, I was raised by a missionary, Brother Sam Latta, when I say raised, in church, you know, and he had a fascinating thing because he had been around the world in so many countries. I think he preached 77 different countries, that he had been acquainted. You know, he started out in Liberia and they had a lot of animism there, even the Devil Bush Society, fascinating stories about the Devil Bush Society, and then Ghana, then Nigeria, and then Zimbabwe. And then he began to teach and preach in Asia, South America, and Europe. He was exposed to a lot of different things. So he was always, you know, we have human frailty, and we may not always be able to explain the truth, and we may not always be able to process when people present error to us. But at the end of the day, in a certain point, if you have the form or freedom of ideas, that the truth will out. Usually the truth will eventually come to the forefront, and it should, especially with a lot of prayer, a lot of fasting, a lot of seeking the Lord, asking God to open people's eyes. But what ends up happening, and I know, you know, and one thing that helps me too, I've got a brother who is, I would call a leftist, and which if I've insulted him, I'm not trying to, but I mean, he's just a leftist. He just really is extreme left wing. And so, you know, we have to bring our different ideas to the table. But what ends up happening, you know, his biggest fear has always been totalitarianism on the right, thunder on the right, so to speak. But he maybe doesn't see that rightist views are deplatformed many times, or that the left can be in charge of book burning, or the left, such as in the Soviet Union, North Korea, other countries over the course of time have been in charge of suppressing other ideas. And so you can't really have it both ways, that we're for egalitarianism and we're for libertarianism and we're for discussion of ideas. Till my idea gains power, then your idea, since I'm right, you're wrong, even though that may not be true, but since you have power, you know, might makes right, you know, who has the gold rules, the golden rule, that joke, whoever has the gold rules, and that I have the means of power now, I will just stamp out your alternate viewpoint or your alternate facts even. You know, that's real Orwellian to me, that people got so upset about alternate facts. I mean, all I think Kellyanne Conway was trying to say is that some people look at one set of data, another people look at another set of data that is equally true, both sets of data, and the reason maybe they're not coming to proper conclusions is because there's no cross-pollination or cross-examination of that data. So it was just something to me to think about, man, it'd just be great if you could have discussion societies. You could even do it online or something, and you just have to have decibel levels and everybody maintain control, be emotionally stable and all this kind of stuff. And somebody's pet viewpoint, whether it's whoever's reptilian aliens from the planet Xandar or something, that if they lose that they're not going to go on a shooting rampage or something, and that everybody just plays nice. So discussion societies in every town, I think it's a great idea, man, but at the same time, let's just go win the world for Jesus. I'm just trying to help us have a civil society. God bless. Talk with you later in Jesus' name.